The Arrowhead 140. It's known as the Type 31 or Inspiration class with the UK's Royal Navy. It's the Miecznik-class of frigates for Poland, and it's the Balaputradewa-Class all the way over in Indonesia. With none of the ships from any of these countries yet to enter service, what is the progress of each program? Which country is the closest to having the first commissioned vessel? Well, let's take a look for today's video. Let's begin with the UK and its Inspiration class Type 31. A total of 5 ships have been ordered, and these will have the following names and pennant numbers: HMS Venturer, F12, Active, F08, Formidable, F11, Bulldog, F09, and Campbelltown, F10. The order we listed the ships in is the order that they're expected to be built and enter service. However, you'll notice that their pennant numbers are not in the same sequence. Why is this? Well, according to contributors on UK Defence Forum, it's hypothesized that pennant numbers are alphabetical rather than build order, and so HMS Active gets the first/lowest pennant number, and it's HMS Venturer that's last in the pennant number sequence. Just a fun fact to begin this video. All 5 ships are planned to be in service with the Royal Navy by the early 2030s, and so here's where they all currently sit in terms of production and development. Per reporting from Navy Lookout, it was on July 31st that HMS Venturer's foremast was installed. It's added that this mast weighs 24 tons. In terms of previous milestones for HMS Venturer, its first steel cut took place on September 23, 2021, and its keel was laid down on April 26, 2022. Rollout of the construction hall took place on May 27, 2025, and the ship was then floated off the barge in Leith on June 14, 2025, before being taken back into No. 3 dry dock at Rosyth for fitting out. Navy Lookout concludes its late August report by saying that Babcock aims to complete the fitting out of the ship in 2026. As for No. 2 ship in the Inspiration class, HMS Active, it rolled out of the build hall for the first time on February 24th. The frigate was then floated off a barge in Rosyth on the 21st of March. Navy Lookout, who seems to be one of the best sources of news for this class of ships, says that HMS Active has gone to dry dock to complete her fitting out. Following in the steps of HMS Venturer, we're guessing that the foremast installation for this ship will take place in the coming months. Going down the list, ship No. 3, HMS Formidable, had its keel laid in December 2025, while HMS Bulldog's first steel cut took place in February 2026, and its keel laying is pending at the time of this video's production. Finally, no news yet on the first steel cut for HMS Campbelltown, although a February 2026 report by Naval News says that its keel laying could occur in 2026, which would be quite impressive. So that's the UK, but what about Poland? Well, before getting to the news, we should tell you their names and pennant numbers. First in class is ORP Wiche, which means gale. This ship has pennant number 274. Ship 2 is ORP Burza, which means storm. This ship has pennant number 275. And finally, Ship 3 with pennant number 276 is ORP Huragan, which means hurricane. It's also worth noting that the Polish Navy has an option with Babcock to build a further 5 ships. However, for the time being, none of these options has been exercised. And so the most recent and exciting news took place on August 13th as the first of Poland's new Miecznik-class frigates, ORP Wiche, was launched in Gdynia. Navy Lookout says that the 140-meter-long warship was lowered into the Bay of Gdansk using a semi-submersible barge following a complex operation to move the completed hull out of the construction hall at PGZ Stocznia Wojenna. Attending the big event was UK Defence Minister Lord Coker, a reminder of the significant British industrial involvement in the programme. ORP Burza, which had its first steel cut take place in May 2025, had its keel laid in December 2025. It said that the rollout and launch for this frigate will take place in September 2027. And then for the third and final Miecznik-class frigate, ORP Huragan had its first steel cut in April 2026, seemingly ahead of schedule, as earlier reports said this was planned to take place in the third quarter of this year. The formal keel laying is expected to take place sometime before the end of 2026. Defence 24 reports that Wicher's handover to the Polish Navy is expected to take place in the third quarter of 2028, while it's the second quarter of 2030 for Borja and Q2 2031 for Huragan. And finally, for Arrowhead 140 customers, there's Indonesia and its Balaputradewa-Class. Obviously, this channel wouldn't normally cover Indonesian military news, but we're making an exception due to the ships being part of the Arrowhead 140 program by Babcock. With 4 ships in this class, we actually only know of the first ship's name, KRI Balaputradewa, with pennant number 322. The other 3 ships in this class have not yet had their names made public. And while we would assume that pennant numbers would be sequential and would be 323, 324, 325, this is not something we're 100% certain of. As for frigate construction progression, the first steel of KRI Balaputradewa was cut in December 2022 and its keel was laid in August 2023. Naval News reported that the ship's formal naming ceremony and launch took place on the same day, December 18, 2025. As is the usual process, the ship continues to be fitted out. As for the rest of this class, Ship 2 was laid down in November 2024, a year ahead of what was originally planned. Earlier reporting stated that a launch was predicted to happen in mid to late 2026, which is about now. And so perhaps by the time you watch this video, we'll already have a name for the second ship. No news regarding the start of construction for Ship 3, and so there's definitely nothing for Ship 4. So that's your news roundup regarding the global Arrowhead 140 fleet. It's exciting times for ship lovers, particularly in the UK, with both Type 31 and Type 26 vessels hitting major milestones seemingly every few months. You can see that the UK leads the way with construction, with Poland being about a year and a half behind their British allies. Indonesia seems to be a few months ahead of Poland, having launched their first ship 8 months earlier. We're still a year or more away from finding out if New Zealand will join the list of Babcock Arrowhead 140 customers, but we take a look at the ship's suitability for the Royal New Zealand Navy over on our sister channel, Tasman Defence Review, and so we hope you'll check it out if you're interested. There's also our side-by-side comparison of the British, Polish and Indonesian ships in a separate Baltic Defence Review production. But what do you think of the progress being made with these ships? Let us know by leaving a comment.